Hi everybody, welcome back, or welcome if you are new. In today's video we are wrapping up my December 2023 budget. I'm using some new pins here. These are the Pilot Friction 4-way, but I bought a bunch of different colors that kind of go with my color scheme for my bills and expenses and how I work through those. So let's go ahead and get started with the first thing. And I had a debt payment on the 28th. And that was for $164.21. That was what was remaining in my gift sinking fund after all the Christmas presents and everything. So I had extra money in there, so I went ahead and used it to go towards debt. On the 29th, we had my transfer to my emergency fund, which was $100. On the 28th, we had two craft payments that I did. I went ahead and on Heroes Journal, I got another one and cards. 2 sets of the side quest card, 2 decks of them are sold out right now, and I've put notices in there that I'd like to be notified, so I went ahead and bought the side deck and the journal that goes along with it, and I believe it's the futuristic one, the space one is the one that card deck and the journal. And that's just to kind of help me with my goals and, you know, make it a little bit more fun to work on my goals in 2024. I am filming this on January 1st, so Happy New Year, everyone. Okay, Heroes Journal, $79.99. And then I did an Etsy. I'm really working on my budgets for 2024 to make sure I stay on budget for everything and I'm not going over. I don't want to put anything extra to debt and everything. So this Etsy one was a Google sheet for home renovations. So I have I've set up all the rest of the rooms in the house that need to be done, including the outside, garage, all of that type of stuff. Doesn't mean I'm going to have it all happen in 2024, but I can actually start like trying to budget for those and put options for things that I'm looking at and all of that. It is mainly for like if you're actually going to do a renovation, but for me it's just refreshes. Instead of tearing down walls, doing all of this, it's just giving the rooms a refresh, but that can get costly, as I have found out this past year. But this Google sheet was on sale for $288, so I got it. And then moving on, there aren't many expenses this time, which I'm very thankful for. On the 29th, I had to run to Petco. Binks was having some stomach issues. He still is, and this morning he welcomed the new year by giving me a hairball. But I went to get cat grass, and that is wheatgrass for cats and their, what do you call it? Digestion issues and all of that. So I have seeds, but the seeds are not, they've just now started to poke out of the soil, and it's going to be another week maybe before he can actually eat the grass that I have growing. And again, it is wheatgrass. It is so I have the music for the washer going, and my neighbor is playing some music outside as well. But the cat grass is wheatgrass for the cats. That's, you know, cats do eat grass. Okay, then going on into a bunch of the sinking funds that I had to pull from this year to pay for end of the year taxes, homeowners association fees, and all of that. So on the 29th, we have property tax, and that is $2,374.59, and HOA fees, homeowners association fees, $360.50. On the 29th, we have a subscription for Checkin. That is the electronic form that I use to kind of keep track of everything. I do check the actual bank accounts as well. But I've been using Checkin since, oh goodness, probably like 98, 99, somewhere around there. Around the time I became an adult, I started using it, but I really haven't been using it as much as I have been the past couple of years. And then also on the 29th, the school taxes. So, school taxes 168302. And school taxes, we have independent school districts in my area, and that's what I'm paying for, is the local independent school district taxes. And that's it. That's everything. So again, I do not have, wait, maybe I do. One moment. Oh yes, I found them. Okay, good. Okay, I'm gonna backtrack and track my no spend days from the previous months, or previous weeks. Oh goodness gracious. I hear my neighbors playing Nirvana as I start headbanging to the song. Okay, anyways, okay, so there are our no spend trackers. Again, I'm not doing a no spend month, but it is just kind of keeping track of the days that I don't spend any money and everything. So all in all, December is not, I don't think it's too bad. I don't feel like I overspent on anything. The only thing that was like really a true surprise, I take that back. I do feel like I spent a lot on crafts, but I usually do at this time of year where I'm buying planners and trying to figure out what I'm going to be doing for the next year and everything. So that I do feel like I spent some money on, and I really haven't been keeping anything in cash envelopes, so I'm going to really try to keep track of that and have a stockpile of money somewhere, if it's going to be cash or if it's going to be in a bank account somewhere. So that way I'm putting that money away. I'd rather put it in a bank account where I can get some interest. So that's probably what I'm going to end up doing at some point. So that way for entertainment and crafts, that way I have the money when it's time to have them and not have to worry about trying to pay that off and everything. So the only other thing that was kind of a surprise maybe was the new night guard, but I asked for that, so it is what it is. And then the plumber on getting a new toilet. That was a surprise. I was not planning on doing that. I mean, it was going to happen sometime in the future, but when the toilet actually quits working and can't be fixed, it's, you know, you have to get a new toilet. So it is what it is. That's where we're at. So all in all, December, not so bad. So let's go ahead and go into the weekly check-in here. And I spent nothing on groceries, so we are ending with $10.74, and gifts, I did not spend anything, so $41.23. And then miscellaneous, there was nothing this time, so that is ending with a -6. There we go. Okay, there are our numbers. I'm going to add these up right now so that way we can get some totals. I just need a calculator because I forgot to do that off screen. So okay, there's our weekly check-in for the things that I was keeping. And now on to this. So I did have an additional income from working the December election here in the city of Houston. So on top of that, that was $341.16. So on top of everything that I have transferred over from my sinking fund to, you know, pay for taxes and Christmas and all of that, we're going to add that $341.16, and we get And again, if you're curious, I don't share my actual income from my day job. That's just privacy and all of that type of stuff. But I do share the amount that is over the, like between the estimated and the actual. I always budget for less than what I'm actually going to get. So that way, in case I use anything, buy anything from my reward things and taxes come out of my paycheck to pay for that. So I like to keep that, also have this extra be like a little buffer in case I do overspend or something like that. So most of the time most of the time my actual is more than the estimated, the majority of the time. There's just a few times where it's been less, and that's just because, like I said, the reward program, I went and bought something and we have to pay the taxes on it. And, but you know, it just depends on how much you spend and all of that type of stuff. So going in and final numbers on these, I'm not going to really, home security, that was done. Groceries, we spent $289.26, which on my weekly check-in, I had $300, but over here it's $400. So I actually did really well on groceries this time. And then extra to debt, I actually paid a lot to debt. So I've already calculated that over here in my debt tracker. So I paid an extra $868.53. So I'm not going to total that out. I know it's a little bit more because I transferred some to my summer bills and the extra to debt and all of that type of stuff. I'm not going to calculate that. We did do the emergency fund over here. I'm moving these things out of the way. So now going over and doing some craft stuff down here. So $97.53, we had the $79.99 for Heroes Journal, and then the $288 for Etsy. So we are ending here at $180.40, which is way over. So I'm just gonna, ending balance is 0 because it's a negative number. And we're just gonna start over in 2024. And like I said, I'm probably going to be transferring that into a sinking fund or a savings account or something like that. So that way I just kind of have it sitting there and getting interest instead of sitting in cash at home. Entertainment, we're ending with $15 only spent. So 50 minus 4, not 4, but 15 is 35. Household, we overspent on that. So it's supposed to be under $100, but we spent but that was because $710 technically was the toilet. But I transferred stuff from my emergency fund to pay for the toilet, so I'm not too concerned about that. Personal care, we have overspent on personal care, and I honestly have no idea what all I bought. That's the honest thing, and I did really well on eating out this time. My mom did visit, so a lot, so she paid for a lot of the restaurants when we went out. So all in all, my budget this time is really not that bad. I'm not going to try to correct anything or any of that. It is what it is. I'm kind of like moving on into, I've already like mentally moved on to next year. So a lot of the sinking funds that I mentioned on the check-in right here have already been listed here. The only one that hasn't been is Quicken subscription, and I have not transferred that, so I am going to go ahead and put that on as a January thing because it won't get transferred until January. So yeah, that's where we're at right now. So I'm not going to update that. But going into sinking funds, this is where we are ending everything. Like I said, I don't want to deal with transferring it right now because I've already done all of this. So it includes the interest that's been applied to all of the accounts that get applied to and the ending numbers. And I am happy to say that I definitely budgeted fairly well for paying property taxes and the homeowners association and trails fees that are over here. So I did do some movements around. So this household fund, I've transferred this money into the house fund, and I'm going to have in next year's budget have a maintenance category and then a home refresh. And that household, whatever I would put into the house refresh would be the household type stuff. And then maintenance, that's repairing toilets or, replacing toilets. Home refresh is for me to go through and do changes to the rooms, like ripping out carpet, painting, buying some new furniture here and there. So get that saved up. And I really need to focus on, I'm changing the household account to be a business savings account. So that way when I have all of the subscriptions, and you'll see that November and December are usually the months where I have a bunch of subscriptions going through, yearly subscriptions for business stuff. So I just want to have it all saved up and starting fresh and not having to have that come out of my accounts or put it on the credit card or, all of that type of stuff. So there have been some movements around and all of that, but not too much. So sinking funds were ending fairly well. Savings tracker, we did another movement in here. So really and truly, when it comes to the two accounts, the money market makes way more interest per year than the emergency fund. So the emergency fund is, I've transferred out $9,173 to get it to where it was at $1,000. And then I just added in the $100. So 9 cents was the interest that I got for this month. And that was transferred out, and I transferred it into the money market. And this has the money market and some extra stuff added in there. I don't know why it doesn't say 9,000. Oh, toilet. Toilet was also included in there. That's why. So I might subtracted the toilet, the 710 for the toilet, and then whatever remained transferred. So it wasn't 8,463 because there was interest included on the money market for the amount. So for right now, I'm basically just going to keep, because I think I have to keep either a certain balance or a minimum transfer into my savings account, the emergency fund. So I'm just going to go ahead and keep it, transferring the $100 for emergency fund, and then at the end of the year just do a big transfer over into the money market, and just that way it's keeping, just a little buffer in case I need to use that for my checking account. But really and truly, it's trying to get a higher interest, and I may actually look at high yield interest, one of those accounts as well, to set something up and, get even more interest on some of it. I do have 401ks over here and funds. I have not calculated any of that out, and I don't really share that information either as much either. Debt tracker. So I have 2 credit cards that are paid off, so that's good. Working on the business credit card, and that is the main focus, and not this. It's the loan for the equipment for my home security system for the equipment. When I changed companies and needed to get newer things, like a newer panel, and that has a 0% interest, so I'm not concerned because the ending amount is not going up, it's just going down every time I make a payment to it. So the one that does go up is the business credit card, and I'm getting like $140 or $150 of interest every single month applied to that. So it's time to really focus on getting this credit card down, and that's where my focus is right now, is trying to put as much money to this business credit card and getting it down as low as possible. So I'm happy to say that I've paid. There was some money that went on to the business card as well, that I just did not have the money to So some of the subscriptions for the business I had to put on there, and I just did not have the money to cover them at this moment because I have not been saving for them. So we won't have that happen next year. We will have it saved up and I can pay them. Anyways, so the total debt is at $8,625.51. I need to update my debt avalanche tracker thing to figure out when my payment date, final payment date, if I have a plan to pay a total of $662.25 every single month towards debt next year. I should be paying, I think I should be paid off by March of 2025, but I definitely want to put more where I can. So like this year with Christmas, I had extra in my Christmas fund that I did not use. So I transferred it over to pay towards the credit card. So going on into the business stuff. So we did not have any extra things happen for business expenses this last week, but total for the month we had, I bought some ink for the printers to do stickers and stuff like that. And that's technically, since I'm sharing those with you guys, it's technically a business type expense. And then the software down here, so BookBolt, TubeBuddy, and Creative Fabrica. And I, like I said, big one right here that I just did not have the money to pay for. The other ones, I was okay with those because they're not that big. And then I have a monthly charge for website security on my editing business, which I've mentioned this in the past. In 2024, I'm just not going to renew anything with the website. I'm just going to let it kind of go away because it's actually not bringing in any income. It's just wasting. So the website is just kind of wasting money and not doing anything. So I think I'm just going to kind of be done with it at the end of this year and not do anything with it. So that is December. I feel fairly good about December and the end of the year. I know that in my mind I was like, I'll be able to pay all this money towards debt and be able to be debt free and blah, 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 blah. So I didn't do that, obviously, because with $8,600, yeah, $8,600 still in debt, I obviously did not pay off debt. But this year I have so many trackers and check-ins and all of this type of stuff that I am going to try my hardest to get to where I have zero debt. Zero. Because I'm tired of paying all that money every single month to someone else on interest, really. The equipment is not really interest, but if I can get that credit card paid off by the end of the year, I say credit card, I want all of it gone. I want all of it gone. Even though the home security loan is not paying any interest, it's like, I just want it done. I want all of it done. And that way I can start putting stuff into savings and, you know, all of this stuff, and look at also maybe reducing some of my expenses this year as well, subscriptions, some of that type of stuff, because it does feel like, I saw this somewhere where, you know, someone had a job where they were making $35,000 and they were broke. They made $55,000 and they were broke. They made $85,000 and they were broke. Now they're making $120,000 and they're broke. So it's like, as you have a pay increase, you still, even with cost of living and all of that type of stuff, it's like, once you start getting that income, you start adding things in there. And some of my subscriptions, it's like, do I really need them? My TV watching subscriptions, yes, because I watch a lot of TV, which I'm trying to stop doing, but anyways, budgets, I don't know where to, it's like, I keep saying this, you set a budget, at least it's not, like this month where the toilet, that was a surprise for me, but being able to set up budgets and put money aside has allowed me to be able to just pull the money from a savings account. It wasn't what I really wanted to do, but it is what it is. The toilet is mine. I've paid for it. It's not on a credit card. And that's the good thing about it. It's like, okay, I have the money to pay for taxes. I have the money to pay for the homeowners association. I own my house, so I have to save up for that and then pay myself at the end of the year in order to pay the taxes and all of that type of stuff. So meanwhile, while I'm saving up for it, it's gaining interest, which is earning me some money here and there. So that is why I do budgets and why I kind of am becoming a little crazy with them, I think, especially now because I'm really going to start focusing on the home refresh budgets going forward, because I really did overspend a lot when doing my bedroom and my bathroom, and even the hall bathroom. I kind of spent a little money, too much more money than I had planned. So really and truly, like, sit down and try to focus on what is a necessity, what needs to be done, and try to get that done, because I have other things that I want to do around the house along with that. Eventually, once I rip out the carpet, and I'm going to paint the concrete until I can afford, but I need to be able to pay off debt to put money in towards the savings to be able to afford LVP flooring to be put into the floors eventually. And then when that happens, I'm also going to buy another toilet for my bathroom, so that way, you know, they're new toilets and I'm not having to deal with them just breaking down. And hopefully by that point, the toilet will still be working and I do not have to do like I did now and have to pay for the toilet before I can afford the flooring. So I don't know what I'm trying to say, but with budgets, be prepared for surprises. When you're living paycheck to paycheck, those surprises are not very good. That's why having a savings account is one of the best things to have. And I know personally how difficult it is to put money into savings. So I started small. My minimum transfer that I had, because my savings account had to have a minimum balance or have a monthly transfer from my checking account, and I had like the bare minimum to open up the savings account. And when I lived paycheck to paycheck, I did transfer only $25, which was the minimum transfer amount every single month. That way I didn't get all the extra bank charges and everything. So it's start small. Some of these accounts, like I know personally, all of my sinking funds are in Capital One 360, and that one, I think most of those you don't have to have a minimum balance or transfer, so you don't get hit with the bank fees. So, and it just makes it easy to, you know, just move money around. There is the transfer. When you're moving money out of those accounts, it does take 3 to 5 business days to get over into my checking account. So that's why I kind of want to still have a savings account attached to my checking account that I can get money instantaneously. But anyways, I'm looking forward to doing my budgets and continuing on with these budget check-ins, because they are helping me. Honestly, they are helping me, and being accountable, because I have to be in the right mindset. I am going to be debt-free by December 31st, 2024. That's where we're at. So I hope everybody enjoyed this video, and I hope you had a wonderful holiday season and a new year. I will be back again next week on next Friday with a week 1 budget check-in for January 2024. Thank you everybody, and have a wonderful weekend. Bye everybody.